Happy Monday, guys. It's Rachel, and I thought I would jump on and share what I think is the most valuable tool ever. I learned this tool from my coach, Brooke Castillo, at the Life Coach School, and it has totally changed my entire life. What I thought I would do this week is take you through this tool and how you can use it in different ways. Each day this week, at least Monday through Thursday. So I highly suggest if you have something going on right now in your life that you want to work through, send me a message so I can address it. Right now, tonight, I'm going to use it with what most of us are facing. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to talk about it in another way. Probably how to use the model in terms of juggling right now work and homeschooling. I know a lot of us moms out there are having to work around that. And my thoughts right now, day 3 will be about business. And then we'll leave day 4 open for now. I'm thinking maybe about relationships. But let's get started. So this is called the model. And again, like I said, this is a tool I learned from Brooke Castillo. Amazing woman. I think she's a genius. I think she's the highest paid life coach, female life coach. And I think I don't even know how many coaches she's trained, but thousands and thousands, all super successful. Not all, but lots of them super successful. So let's get into it. We have the unintentional model, which is what most of us are living from, right? We're living in our own unintentional models. These are, let's think about it like your default habits, your default thoughts, feelings, action, results. Really a little bit unaware usually while we're in our unintentional models. And then what we're going to work towards creating tonight is intentional models. The intentional models are what are going to move us forward instead of holding ourselves back. So let's just go through the steps of the model first, and then we're going to do an example. So the first line is your C line, and these are your circumstances. The important thing to know about your circumstances is that they are always neutral. Meaning, it's not that the pandemic is bad or good, it's just a pandemic. The virus isn't bad or good, and you can have your own opinions about this, but it is neutral. The second line is T, and these are your thoughts. Now, these are all the thoughts that you're having about the specific circumstance. Let me back up for a second on your circumstance. So your circumstance is filled with facts. So how you know it's facts is that everybody agrees. No one would disagree with you. And it's coming from, like I said, a nice neutral place. Now your thoughts are going to be filled with all sorts of garbage, right? Often, especially when we're in our unintentional models. They're usually the things that are blocking us from moving forward. We're just unaware of it in the moment. Then we come down to the feelings line, the F line. And this is our thoughts create a feeling in our body. So for example, if our thoughts are negative or not serving us, they'll often create a feeling of overwhelm, right? Or anxiety. And we want to start to learn what that feels like in your body. Because they don't come from outside of us, they're coming from within. So for example, for me, the feeling of anxiety for me is in my chest. My heart starts to beat super fast and my palms get sweaty. But the beating of my heart is what I feel first and foremost. And that's when I know something's up. These feelings create the next line, which are the actions we take. And the actions always determine our results. So the line that's not going to change here is our circumstance. We're not changing our circumstance. That's most likely out of our control. But what we can alter and shift are our thoughts, which will shift our feelings, our actions, and our results. So let's go to work on this just for a moment. I'm going to erase all this. Okay. So the current circumstance. Okay. Social distancing, or we'll just call it stay at home, which my marker now doesn't want to write. Stay at home. Oh, I guess 4 or 9 on a whiteboard is not so good. Okay, stay at home. I don't know if you guys can read that now, but let's see if I can make it a little bit bolder. Sorry, my whiteboard here doesn't have a home. We share it, my husband and I. So, yikes. Okay, I just knocked down everything in the fireplace. But that's okay, right? Who the fuck cares? Okay, so stay at home. So now, you want to take a moment and write down all of the thoughts you're having about having to stay at home. I call it a thought purge, thought vomit. You want to take a piece of paper and just get it all out. Now, usually it will be filled with a bunch of negative thoughts. And nothing has gone wrong there. That's normal. That's just default thinking working 100% correctly. Once you have a list of all of your thoughts, then we want to pick one at a time, and we're going to go through the unintentional model to create the intentional model. So a thought that came up with a client and I earlier was, when we were talking about staying at home, right, and not being able to do everything she enjoys in her life, right, the thought was, I'm stuck. This is never going to end. This is never going to end. Now, when she's in this place of this is never going to end, she feels frustrated. And really that frustration is coming from a place of fear. We discovered. Fear. And when she is in fear, her action, she's paralyzed. So she's doing nothing. I'm going to spell paralyzed. Paralyzed, I think. So she's not taking any action in her business. She's not getting anything done with her kids all day. And she's feeling full of overwhelm and anxiety. And this overwhelm and anxiety is keeping her from getting the results that she wants, which is to move forward in her life. So when she's paralyzed, though, her actions of being paralyzed, doing nothing, the result is nothing. It's overwhelm. It's spinning. I can't write on these boards well. In mind drama. Okay, so, all right, friends. This is her unintentional model. This is where she's been living for the last, I'd say, 3 weeks, and it's not working, right? She's got nothing accomplished at work. Her kids have pretty much been on summer break, which is great. It's fun, right? It's not that big of a deal, but she doesn't like the way she feels right now. She's gained weight because all she's doing is Netflixing and eating cookies on the couch. It's not what she wants for her life. So what we want to do is get ourselves out of this model into a model that creates the results she wants. So now, when you do an intentional model, you can start at the R line, right, with the result you want, or you can create a new thought. But here's the key. You can't create a thought you don't believe. Because if you just put out like an affirmation and you don't actually feel it in your body, it doesn't create the emotion you want, it's useless. So the most important part is that you create a thought that generates a feeling in your body that puts you into action. And it aligns your actions with your feelings so you can get the result you want. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's look at this example for a second. Stay at home. So this is never going to end was her current thought. Now, what we decided to go with is, it seems like this too shall pass, right? Because the truth is, life is cyclical. Things are always shifting and changing. Nothing ever stays the same. Now, as we played with different thoughts and we found one that really resonated with her, this created, instead of a feeling of fear, a feeling of hopefulness. She felt more hopeful. And when she feels hopeful, she doesn't feel paralyzed. So she started to take the necessary steps and actions to get herself and her kids into a routine. Here's the key. As she's taking these steps to get herself and her kids into a routine, she's going to create one, right? She doesn't have to be stuck in overwhelm and spinning in mind drum. Instead, she's getting stuff done. That's just her results right now, right? She wants to get out of overwhelm, out of stuck and confused, and into action. And the only way she's going to get into action is by changing her thought, right? Because as long as she feels like this is never going to end, she feels helpless. She feels hopeless, and she's terrified. And all that fear does is make her feel paralyzed, and she does nothing. And when she does nothing, she creates nothing, except for more mind drama. And then feelings of shame and guilt, and we can just create lots more models. But when she's in her intentional model, when she's practicing, reminding herself daily, I can't control that I need to stay at home, but I can control what I want to think about it. And it seems like this too shall pass. And because it's going to pass, that means I can feel a little bit more hopeful that this isn't going to go on forever. And when she feels hopeful, she gets herself and her kids onto a routine. And that routine helps her to move towards getting stuff done. Okay, my friends, I know this can be a lot at first. So I hope this week, as we go through unintentional, intentional models, you find this super helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me with questions on how to apply this to yourself. This is a lot of the work we do in a coaching session. As we get deep into your unintentional models and help you create intentional models so you can move past that place of being paralyzed and stuck and really align your thoughts, your feelings with your actions so you get the results you want. Your results are 100% in your control, my friends. So let's create them. Let's not live in stuck and overwhelm. It's unnecessary, right? Because we have tools to get us past it. All right. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope you have an amazing night. Till tomorrow night. See you then.